All right, y'all. I'm doing this video without my customary intro. Doing it for a reason this way. I want to get this message out because it's important. Here in Mississippi, we just had a statewide election. Governor, lieutenant governor, treasurer, auditor, insurance commissioner, and every state legislator, excuse me. As far as I can tell, every one of them just won their re-election. Every one of them. My opinion is none of them should have gotten it. None. Let me tell y'all why. I'm a student of history. Many of y'all may or may not know this. I love history. I've been a historian most of my life. And what I'm about to do here is tie the past with the present. We all know about the Stamp Act in 1763. We know 1763 was right after the 7 Years' War, or French and Indian War. Depending on what part of the globe you were on was what you would call that particular war. If you were in America, it was French and Indian. The British beat the French and the Indians back and took control of everything basically east of the Mississippi River. For the most part, anyway. 1763, they passed the Stamp Act. We, as colonial Americans, bucked the system, and we bucked it hard. To the point that 3 years later, in 1766, Parliament reversed the policy. But they replaced the legislation with something else called the Declaratory Act. The Declaratory Act was another one of the intolerable acts, one that caused this great country 10 years later to declare formally its independence from England and declare open war against England. A shooting war. The longest war that this country was in until Vietnam and the Cold War. Definitely the longest shooting war that we were involved in until Vietnam. Actually, let me get more historically correct. That was the longest actual declared war, since we have not declared war since December 7th, 1941. That was the longest declared war that this country was in, was when we were at war with England from 1776 to 1783, and it was because of the intolerable acts. One of those was the Declaratory Act. Now let me explain the Declaratory Act to y'all. The Declaratory Act was Parliament saying, we will make all of the decisions for the colonies in all cases whatsoever. We run this. You don't. You peasant colonials, you don't run nothing. We run it. Well, we didn't like that. So we under George Washington and several others, grabbed our muskets, our flintlocks, our firelocks, and we started shooting redcoats. And in 1783, with the help of the French, we beat the British. Now, fast forward to 2023. We are not at Bunker Hill. We are not on Lexington and Concord Green. We are not at the Jamaica Pass in New York. We're not at Valley Forge. We're in Mississippi. And what happened? Well, in 2020, Ballot Initiative 65, which was a ballot initiative brought forth by the people of Mississippi via signatures, put forth legislation in the state to legalize medical marijuana. Well, as the law was written, and keep in mind, until this, it was never enforced. But the language in it stated that the signatures had to be an equal number from all 5 congressional districts in Mississippi. The problem is we only have 4 now, and we've only had 4 since the year 2000. This used to be the 5th congressional district. Now it's been swallowed up into the 4th. The county borders are the same. The state borders are the same. But the congressional districts have changed. But that was all it took for the state legislature to get rid of our ballot initiative. Now we have no ballot initiative process in the state of Mississippi. What would be the point, being that the legislature 3 years later hasn't fixed it? And yet, we as Mississippians, not me, because I didn't vote for anybody for re-election at all, but we as Mississippians jointly elected a legislator or a legislative body who embraces these declaratory acts that say, you will not tell us what you want on the ballot for a ballot initiative. Ballot initiatives affect the state constitution normally. Now, as if this wasn't bad enough, fast forward to 2023. Do you know it is illegal in Mississippi to protest on state property or any sidewalk adjacent a state building in Jackson without first obtaining a permit from Capitol Police or from the Mississippi Department of Public Safety? Did y'all know that's now a law? I missed it. I don't know how I missed it, because usually that's something I would have caught. My bad, I'm sorry. I guess I was asleep at the wheel. I didn't realize this until the other day. And it's been bothering me ever since. So now that we have no ballot initiative, we also can't let our voice be known. We have no freedom of speech. We have no freedom of assembly peacefully. We have no freedom to petition the government for a redress of our grievance. If we don't get a permit. This is a clear violation of the First Amendment, and everybody who understands what this means when you combine the two should be as pissed off as I am. I get the reason why they say they did it was because they don't want Antifa and Black Lives Matter to go through and burn, like they did up in Seattle and Portland, whatever. That never happened in Mississippi. Nowhere in the state of Mississippi did that happen. I think we have a pretty good castle doctrine in the state of Mississippi that would preclude them being stupid enough to try that in this state. You would have to be the dumbest person on earth to come down here and try that. We all have guns, and we all don't mind having an open season on those that want to come in and violently destroy our community. This is the wrong place to try that. However, the state legislature didn't say that you couldn't protest outside of a business or down the street. They just said you can't do it around state buildings without a permit. And the law is so vaguely written that if they think that it may impede ingress and egress from a building, they can shut you down. And of course, they're talking about the sidewalks. Sidewalks are public. So if I didn't like something that's going on, like what's going on with the Mississippi Department of Corrections, and I've been heavily watching this for the last quite a while. I'll get to that later on. I can't go outside the MDOC building in downtown Jackson and do a demonstration without a permit. I got news for y'all. And Sean Tyndall, brother, you know me. I hope you see this. And I'm addressing you as my fraternal brother. I am not going to your office or to the Capitol Police and requesting a permit. I will not be doing this. If somebody in my group wants to do it, go ahead. Scratch my name off of it. I'm not asking. I plan on going up there at some point because I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing in a lot of places in this state, politically. But I'm certainly not asking for your permission. If that means that your officers, your troopers, got to put me in cuffs and take me to the Hinds County Jail, so be it. But when I get out, brother, you will be named, in addition to the troopers that were there, the officers from Capitol Police, in addition to every legislator who voted for this bill, you will all be named in a class action lawsuit by me and whoever else was there. And that's what's going to happen. So be ready for it. Now I don't want to do this. I want you, sir, brother, to do the right thing, to follow the Constitution. The First Amendment guarantees me the right to free speech, the right to assemble peaceably, the right to petition the government for a redress of my grievances. I sincerely hope that you instruct your officers to follow the Constitution so that there will be no problems. Now, if I bring a group up there, it's going to be nonviolent. I don't want violence. I want it kept peaceful. I believe in public safety. I believe in peace. I pray for peace, and I'm not much of a praying man, but I do pray for peace. But I'm also prepared to take you to task and go to war. By war, I don't mean a violent war. I mean a paper war. I mean a war in the courts. I mean to take y'all to the Fifth Circuit and beyond if I have to. I don't want to do this. Personally, I don't want to go to Jackson. I wish the state would do the right thing and do what they're supposed to do. Do what we are paying them to do. And again, I'll get on my beef with the Department of Corrections later. But this law, I blame every voter who reelected these people in office. For passing this law. The legislature only looks out for themselves. The only interest of the state representatives in Jackson is to screw us, the common man, the layman, and give to their cronies. And if you want evidence of that, look at Brett Favre. I'm tired of it, and I'm not taking this anymore. So Sean Tyndall, brother, I'm going to tag you in this video. I hope you watch it. And I mean no disrespect to you. I mean no disrespect to your office. You know I support you. You know I back you up. But I'm begging and pleading on my knees with tears in my eyes. I'm not selling whoop tickets. I'm telling you what I'm going to do if you try to stop us. It will be a very lengthy battle, and I've got nothing but time. I don't want to do this. So if you see us up there outside the DOC office, tell your officers we're nonviolent. We're not going to do anything stupid. We're not going to break any laws, except that one, obviously. We are going to be as polite, professional, and peaceful as we are allowed to be. But if it fails, it's going to be a very public embarrassment to the state of Mississippi and a very costly one. Because the only way that I could see to hit y'all where it hurts is to hit you in the wallet. And again, I've got nothing but time. Don't make me do this. If you're going to protest, if you're going to stand up for something that you believe in, do it peacefully. If an officer gives you an order, tells you that you're under arrest, comply. Just comply. Don't argue with a cop on the street, you'll lose. You want to argue with a cop, do it in court. That's where you make him lose. Not only, and if I get arrested, not only do I plan on taking it to court and making the cop look bad, in addition to the civil suit that I'm going to file, I'm also filing criminal charges against that officer on the charge of kidnapping and aggravated assault. Because as far as I'm concerned, handcuffs are a weapon. And if you forcibly remove me from where I'm at and against my will, that's kidnapping. That's how far I'm willing to take it. There's already a lawsuit right now, and there's a moratorium as far as I could tell, and I haven't seen anything to contradict what I'm fixing to say here. And I've been looking, and I could be wrong. But I know there's a moratorium against this law taking effect. I don't care about that. I'm not worried about a judge saying that the law is invalid. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Because the law is unconstitutional. And I've already given several examples of why. And I will drag everybody through court. And I'll do it acting as my own counsel. Only thing I got to pay is a filing fee. So I'm begging and pleading on my hands and knees with tears in my eyes. Don't try me. This goes to show that the legislature doesn't care about us. They don't want to hear from us. I guess the only way, you know what? I think Brandon Presley was right. The only way to get the governor's attention is to be on his right side and contribute to his re-election campaign. That's not representing the state of Mississippi. That's not why he's in Jackson. Tate Reeves works for me. He works for you if you live in Mississippi. Y'all have a good day.